Hello, welcome to some more hot takes on Update 51, the Destiny changes, and how I am changing my various characters. So I'm going to discuss how I'm going to adjust my 17-3 healer tank. This character has zero past lives at all. This is as bare bones as it gets. This is no investment at all put into it aside from just gear and some tomes. The character has healed in Reaper difficulty raids. The character has tanked R1 Sulamares at least once now. And yeah, let's just go take a look. Let's take a look. I have all my enhancements and everything to demonstrate what's going on. I'll link my file as well, or an output of the file in the comment section. So let's go through what I chose for Destinies. Um, I immediately went to looking at Sentinel. Crusader also had some very nice options. Other Destinies had good pieces as well. I didn't have enough to spend in them because of the low amount of Destiny work. So let's go through the choices and the thought process, and if you have more investment in your 17-3 or similar character, how you would adjust. So the cores of Sentinel, because it's the hit points, it's melee power. You need melee power to do damage in order to maintain threat. So you need all the cores. Uh, One of the cores does protect you from curses. However, it's only every 60 seconds. It can be cursed more often than this, I'm pretty sure. Especially in, say, Lord of Blades at the end. So I went ahead and I'm just going to ignore that exists and keep my curse trinket on all the time. It's not coming off ever. So more Destiny points. Um, I went ahead and put points into the mandate. This is the Epic Strike. This does give you the PR and MRR buff it says. It's currently lasting for 10 seconds, not the 15 seconds. So this could be a bug. It's also falling off all as one stack. Um, I'm not sure if that's intended. Some things in DDO fall off as one stack, some things fall off as partial stacks. But you can see as we go along here, you can watch some of the PR MR go up accordingly. And it appears to be doing the correct calculation. It also appears to benefit from either double strike or hitting multiple targets. I'm not 100% sure which one yet. So there you can see we're stacked up, and then in a few seconds it'll fall off, and you'll see the stats fall off. The next thing, this is a point where I have 1 point of wiggle room. I took the Intimidate all the way up. I could have put just 2 points to get to the next tier. I went ahead and got the blindness immunity was less important. Just having as much Intimidate as possible is what I wanted to do. I don't know what the Intimidate thresholds are now after the stat squish and whatever things happen with the Destiny rework. That's going to require some testing. Moving up, every last ounce of hate. Tanks and DDO have trouble with hate in general, especially the 17-3s. They don't have a lot of DPS output, and players are getting more and more damage, so it's important that we get every ounce of hate that we can. I took tonight's challenge to throw the shield. I have not tested this yet. I will do so soon. If it works anything like it says, this is awesome. This is going to be a great engage for questing. It's going to be great for grabbing monsters that run around. It looks good. Renewal is still a powerhouse. It has a little bit more of a cooldown now. Still great ability, super good. Mantle, we're going to take the mantle from this tree due to the amp and the absorptions. The immune to mind altering is less important, I think, than the just absorptions. You'll be immune to various mind affecting spells with other other options. Uh, I went ahead and did this lay hands. So the lay hands will now use charisma or constitution possibly as your stat. So it's actually hitting for a little bit. It's hitting way harder than the healing hands. And then we'll look at the upgrades I took to that later on. So lay hands is pretty good since it can work off a con. The legendary shield mastery. There's no longer a feat requirement for this. So the double strike again beats every physical DPS stat. We need to do DPS to hold aggro. The PRR again, this is a tank or defensive healer, so it's a no-brainer. Uh, I took the Spark of Life. Having the death block is not that big a deal. The hit points are, and it's also as a prerequisite for an upgrade, which we'll look at. The Knight's Challenge does a stun. This looks awesome, and the shield bounces around. So during questing and some parts of raiding, this could be really good. I'm very excited to try this out. I haven't used it yet. We'll try to try it out this weekend. It's looking good. Um, I took this best defense for the hit points. Utilization of this ability for the blocking to gain the damage. I don't think you're going to be able to purposefully take advantage of this for the damage because you will lose more damage not swinging. So where you will get benefit from this is in Lord of Blades. After you block a stun, you will get benefit from this. At times after you unturtle from intiming and turtling up a little bit and throwing a attack or two. So you'll get benefit from the other portion, the damage portion. Now and then you shouldn't count it. It does say 60 hit points, so by the time you apply your hit point multipliers, that's a lot of hit points. And then I also took Regenerating Lay on Hands. I took it all the way up so that to help with the lay hands, and we'll see why more so in a second. Now we're gonna see why. Light to Dark. This is the same Light to Dark. It's awesome. I mean, this is gonna hit the whole party for a ton of healing, and it's fast. That's gonna be really great. I like this quite a bit. I also took this this deific warding. So there's different options you can go with this. Now I have the falconry quality hit points from the falconry tree. I'm going to take this feat anyhow to get deific warding, so that instead I can take the positive spell power feat, so I can get more positive spell power and crit out of my healing. So crit damage. So that's the route I'm going to go. You could go a different route, and if you have quality hit points from somewhere else, you could ignore this. If you have deific warding, you could also ignore this. I'm just choosing for my particular configuration to take it. I'm taking the Undying Vanguard. It does this. Roar! If you click this, everyone will know it. So you get the heal, so it's at the heal. It's the epic moment. You get the extra weapon dice, which is kind of fun. You get to stand over everybody, which is even more fun. No one's taller than you. You get temporary hit points. Yeah, that's handy for a few here and there. So I took that. I took the 10% insight hit points. I took this all the way up, and I'm going to stay in the Sentinel mantle to get the extra hit points there. So that's, I mean, substantial hit points. Remember that this character is not wearing green steel, and it's absolute first life. So this is pretty high hit points for the low investment character. That's what I'm spending in Sentinel. The next tree I went into was Crusader. I went into this because there's melee power and hit points in the cores. And as you go up in the cores, you get some nice benefits. Saving throws are nice on the tank. You get a little bit more amp in and PRR. That's nice. I took the smiting, and I took the smiting for a reason. I took the smiting for the upgrade. The upgrade gives you this heal. So you do a little bit extra damage, and that 1,000 hit points was the heal. I'll click it again. There's wait, there must be a cool internal cooldown in that. Okay, there we go. 900 some hit points. So it's a pretty big heal. So that's an extra tool for while you're fighting and healing and whatnot. I took the ability for a little bit of PRR, MRR here, and the undispellable magic missile, which has I've had trouble in Strahd mainly with that, and in some questing with being dispelled. So it's going to be nice to not have to worry about that. It's a personal decision. I also took this ability for hit points and fortification to make sure to be able to survive against some of the more so against some of the questing monsters. This build doesn't quest very often, very occasionally, but I wanted to make sure I don't get crit ever, and hopefully this will go above the high water mark for fortification. Now, if you have more resources, if you have more past lives, my recommendations would be to put your epic past lives into picking up the um, the armor class. Somewhere in here is armor class. There's shield armor class contribution, and there's just plain armor class. So I would recommend that as you advance this character, you put points there. You can also put points to get an extra res, which is handy. Not necessary, but handy. I would also advocate that as you get racial points as you go along, get some extra light hands, get some extra faster deflect arrows, possibly take a little bit more in the beacon line, and then you can further upgrade more hit points and PRR and such here. Um, there's a lot of different ways you can make the 17-3. This is just the way I made mine. It generally serves as tank and healer for LH runs, and will serve as healer and backup tank for Reaper content. And I have a you can gear different ways. I'll show the gear. I have a 1, 2, 3 swaps to swap into a healing setup. I go into Lorix set and the healing scepter from the newer quests. It doesn't have a lot of filigrees either. Like I said, this is a very bare bones character. Um, I'll post a link to my version of it. You can search and find several versions of this, and they're all fine. I just made certain optimizations to serve my own unique purposes and to work with the gear I had, the lives I had, etc. We'll cycle through gear so you can pause and see what I did for gear. You can go green steel, you can go green steel and gates. Like I said, there's other routes you can go. The Salt Marsh may have some good options now too. I haven't looked at that gear. This is just what I chose to go with. I'll show these, and I'll show I have a collection of shields. I'll show that as well in a moment. Make sure you can pause on each of these as you see fit. Like so. Default shield is the snow shield for the artifact con, and I'm using a soul razor with the favorite enemy, and I have a little bit of filigrees there, as you can see. Other shields, I have the twin shield basically, and I have like I said, the Lorix swap. So yeah, that's the guy. One more note. I had to spend points in order to get to a higher section of Divine Crusader. I chose the Shield Bash because it's adding for me about 37.5 average damage ish. Uh, Now, if you're having trouble with accuracy, you should probably take the plus to attack and damage instead. If you're missing on 2, 3, 4, or somewhere in there, that should do more for maintaining hate. But if your accuracy is good, that's why I chose the shield bash. Again, this is a very optimized for me decision. I may move it into the attack and damage instead. I did not go concentrate because epic strikes put each other in timer, and I found on this build you need to be spamming the hate attack, and his hate attack also gives defenses. So no consecration for this build. If you play a more healer focused build, maybe you go the consecration instead. Again, context for this build: solo healing and tanking in LH, and backup tanking and healing in low Reaper content, low Reaper rating. So that is my version of the 17.3 favorite soul. Thank you for watching.